Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, MIL going into our bedroom while we are away. My ex-JNMIL reminded me I made the right decision. DH is a grown adult. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. MIL going into our bedroom while we are away. Hi all. About a month ago, me and my husband got married. Immediately after that, we went on a honeymoon for 3 weeks. Since we have 2 cats, we needed someone to take care of them while we were away. Before we could ask anyone, my FIL had offered to cat sit and watch the house. He is retired and has much time on his hands. He was also a mechanic/technician and offered to do some work around our new house. He loves to help us out with his skills. Since most of our friends and relatives work full-time or live hours away, and FIL really wanted to, we took the offer and let him watch the place. When we got back from our honeymoon, I noticed the wedding celebration cards I stalled out on our sideboard cabinet were stored away inside. The toilets had all been cleaned. The floor had been cleaned. The few dirty clothes that we had left in our laundry basket were washed, ironed, and folded. We didn't ask them to do any of this, and left the house in a neat and organized state before we left. I went to our bedroom and noticed the bed sheets and blankets were all replaced with clean sheets. I also noticed the nightstands were cleaned. It was clear to me right away that this was MIL's doing. DH2 said it was his mom who cleaned. When I saw the bedroom, I felt invaded, but I didn't want to start the argument with my husband about her behavior again, so I thanked her and tried to let it go. But now, a couple days later, it still doesn't sit with me right. On the one hand, I'm like, oh, nice of you to do this, could just be a well-meant gesture, her way of showing she cares. Maybe even her way of making up for how she treated me earlier. On the other hand, I feel like my privacy has been invaded by her going into our bedroom without us asking her. The clean sheets are in our clothes closet, so she must have gone into our closet too. My DH doesn't really see a problem with it and thinks it was well meant. We are going on holiday again in November for a week. FIL has offered to watch the cats again. I am thinking of locking our bedroom now. Sometimes I feel like I am being paranoid, but I still can't shake the thought of her being an intrusive control freak and going through all of my personal stuff. Her past actions, see previous threads, certainly don't help. I am trying to rebuild a relationship with her, try to see the good in what she does, trust her again. It's hard though with everything that's happened. Your opinions? Am I maybe being too paranoid and making this too big in my head? I could use outsiders' perspectives, because sometimes it feels like I can't see things clearly anymore. You might consider boarding the cats at a kennel when you go out of town. It costs money, of course, but that might be the price you pay for preserving your privacy and leave of mind. Also, rekey your locks. Now. I'm locking that sh*t up 100%. Who changes the sheets on a married couple's bed unless you're the maid or housekeeper? Nosy ass MIL, that's who. Maybe she was checking to make sure the marriage had been consummated. Or someone who slept in that bed. Did the IL stay over? Go ahead and lock the bedroom door. You have a right to privacy. No one invades the marital space to do anything without asking for permission. The other option is to get another pet sitter. Thanks. She does such crazy things as if it's normal. Hubby doesn't see the real issue. Makes me think I am the crazy one sometime. So thanks for reminding me. Tell your DH you feel invaded and lock the door. This is unacceptable. Personally, I would change the locks and hire a house/pet sitter. Your post history suggests that a lock be used in the future. After reading your post history, definitely put a key/lock on your bedroom door and any other room with a door, i.e. office, den etc., that you want to remain private and untouched. Your MIL does have serious boundary issues, and I would make it crystal clear that there are areas in your home that are off limits period. Obviously she's going to take this personally, but her behavior and actions are completely unreasonable to treat someone else's home and personal spaces, even her grown-ass son. Best wishes, many blessings and safe journeys. Thank you. Wouldn't mention it now, but would 100% lock bedroom, and any room, you don't want her in. Laundry/cleaning is all a nice gesture on her part, but not at that cost of your mental comfort in your own home. The worst that'll happen is she'll question why they're locked, while ignoring her own lack of boundaries, and in that case, calmly ask her why she needed access to them. Thank you. Would you be okay with your MIL changed your blankets and sheets? Not overreacting. If the understanding was for FIL to look after the cats, MIL had no reason to be there at all. The plan was for him to mind your cats. Not for MIL to snoop and invade your space. Since they appear to be a package deal and he allowed her to have free reign of your home and pee on your territory, FIL is not a trustworthy pet sitter. DH needs some help to see what is happening here. That's how I feel. DH just doesn't see an issue with it. He just sees it as MIL being nice. I just find it super awkward, and every time I see her now I think, has she gone through my personal stuff? I want to trust her and think she did it to be nice, but I just can't shake the thought of her going through my stuff. My ex-JNMIL reminded me I made the right decision. My ex is not a bad person. They were going through a tough time and didn't have the ability to communicate or be there for me when I needed them most. That being said, I don't regret leaving at all. I do regret being so confused, but I understand things I didn't before. I'm proud of myself. I left my ex because we were together 9 years and I had been wanting to marry him after year 4, he said he wanted that too. Discussions of anything wedding related were dangled in front of me for years. Once I decided I didn't care about marriage so much, he proposed. Of those 9 years he was unhappy, distant, and depressed often. Avoiding responsibility, bad with money decisions. I didn't mind, I had learned to be the head of household early on. I know being depressed is hard. When he was unemployed for almost 2 years on and off, I supported him happily because I believe in caring for those you love, too much. I assumed he would do the same. When I needed a laparoscopic procedure for a tumor, benign, and my endometriosis, he didn't help in recovery. For years I'd rock him to sleep when he had panic attacks at night. But when I was all cut up, he was too depressed to say hi when he would get home from work or check on me. He was too depressed to wake up on time to walk the dog. Too depressed to take out the trash, help unload the washers, or buy bottles of water because the burrito was too heavy for me. Too depressed to buy enough food for the duration of my recovery. I managed by being blunt and organizing deliveries when he was home, asking neighbors for help, after he had reassured me for weeks he would be there for me. And many more things. Anyway, turns out he was depressed because he was questioning his gender identity and didn't know how to tell me. This is what hurt the most for some reason. Because he was in his own drama, he avoided me at a time where I was vulnerable. Something I didn't think he would ever do. He assured me he would be there, and like a fool, I believed it because I loved him. Meanwhile, I wasn't on his mind at all those 2 weeks, except as a disapproving partner who may reject his gender identity. XMIL always said I was a saint to put up with him. She knew her son was a confused free spirit more than I did. I have my mom and sister, no other family. His family was a family to me for 9 years. When I left him, his dad drove 4 hours to pick him up so he wouldn't be alone in the apartment. Shortly after he left, his mom called me to check on me. To see if I was okay post-op lol. For some reason I thought she'd be on my side, given the severity of the situation. You know he struggles with depression, right? It's not his fault, lol. That was all I needed to hear. I grew up with a very abusive father, I grew up homeless, I had PTSD and was depressed too. And I would never use that as an excuse for abandoning my partner in their time of need. I was polite but heartbroken. I ended the convo with, "This is between him and me." I went no contact. A year later I got a text from JustNoMil saying, "He loves you so much," and other things, trying to make me feel guilty enough to take him back. Saying relationships aren't always 50-50ths. Saying she cared about me. The only thing she cared about was making her depressed child happy again. Apparently I was the only cure. I explained she crossed so many boundaries by texting. If I'm being honest, the depression she saw in him wasn't new. It was just that it was in her house and he could point to me as the reason why. That cloud of hopelessness is the same cloud that had me financially supporting his unemployment while he smoked pot and played games all day. That cloud had me funding his band's tour to another country. Now, over 2 years later, I'm in love again. I'm engaged. After years of therapy and hardship, I feel at peace. Like I can trust again. I've been a ghost on social media. But I felt the engagement coming, so I made the effort to post a bit more of my life for my family to see. I still had JustNoMil and him and his family on socials. I figured they were a big part of my life, and one day, if and when they comes out, we could all look at our time together fondly. I also figured after 2+ years they'd all be over it. Truthfully, my wishful thinking was because I did love his family, even JustNoMil. I posted my engagement online. A few days later I get a DM that quickly was deleted. I almost didn't catch who sent it, but it was from JustNoMil. I didn't see what it said. She had blocked me. LOL. Maybe I'm the villain. Maybe I've done something wrong. But all I can say is thank God I left. I'd do it again just because of her true colors. I read this thinking that JustNoMil wanted you to take back your ex because she got tired of supporting him. That's what I'm thinking too. It sounds like she wanted someone to be her son's free therapist and maid. OP's the cure for his depression, for her. It obviously isn't the cure for the actual depression, or the 9 years would have been the happiest of his days. Let's normalize not romantically using others to get through your gender identity crisis. Be friends while you find yourself. Don't blame them when they can't do it for you. It's not fair on others to expect them to sacrifice their chances at happiness because you are working through something. Be friends, don't create a life together. And families, don't expect partners to be endless supplies of compassion while they get neglected. It's just plain gross. Step up, support them. She contacted you after a year because she was tired of caring for him and wanted to offload the mooch. She abortively contacted you again because she's still bitter you aren't keeping her kid out of her hair. I hope you continue to live your new life out loud. Be happy and healthy and find joy and peace, and it will have the happy side effect pissing off bitter people who thinks you're happy is too loud. A perfect example of, don't light yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Glad you got out and are happy. It's time to remove those people from your social media accounts. They will be flying monkeys for your ex, updating him etc. on what's going on in your life. They clearly see you as the villain, and the mom is probably tired of taking care of her son and wants to be done, hence where you come in to cure his depression by doing all the things you used to do. Congratulations on your engagement. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I do have a question. Was he? A. I feel like I'm depressed and I'm going to see a doctor and or therapist and see if I can get this resolved. Or B. I am going to claim depression, do nothing about it and make everyone around me take care of me. I had pushed him to see a therapist a few years before the breakup. He was taking a break from therapy at the time because the office was right by the job he lost. But he had regular therapy and psychiatry the whole time. I'm sure they see you as the villain in his story, but it doesn't sound like you did anything villainous. All you did was take care of yourself in the absence of their promised care. I wish for you a love that is not one-sided, a life of happiness that having a partner can bring. Good for you for loving yourself enough to get away from them. Sounds like it is time to block them all. He is an ex. An ex is an ex for a reason. He and his family are a part of your past. You need to start looking at today and tomorrow with your new partner. Stop hanging on to the old and the past. Let it go. Face forward and hold on to the new and the future. I agree 100%. There is no reason to have further contact with these people. Let them be dysfunctional in their own way. DH is a grown adult. MIL brought over Costco chicken and visited for a little while and fed the baby. She needed DH to replace her screen protector on her phone too. She was asking about the baby sleeping through the night, am I getting good sleep, etc. Baby's doing just fine and sleeps for several hours. I'm getting sleep. I guess DH had a heart palpitation when she got here. They happen occasionally for him and he's gotten checked out before with no results. He is a self-admitted hypochondriac and focusing on it makes it worse. I'm folding laundry and she's giving him the 3rd degree. Asking him if he has a PCP, if he checks his blood pressure, tells him he needs to do X, Y, Z. BC. His dad is the same way about his health and suffers by not getting checked out, etc. And I'm sure there was a, well, I worry, in there somewhere. I wasn't really paying attention. DH is giving her vague answers to her questions and sounds run down. I can hear it in his voice that he wants her to stop bringing attention to it. Once I clue into what's going on, I tell her, MIL, I don't think DH wants to talk about this anymore, and I keep right on looking at the laundry and folding. She says, oh. Am I stressing you out? DH nods, yes. Then she looks at me and goes, oh. Well, will you keep me informed, attempting to put his healthcare responsibilities on me. I looked straight at her and said, well, you know, I can try, but DH is a grown adult and will do what he's going to do regardless of what I think or say. I can't make you any promises. She moved on to other subjects and quickly made her exit. I'm getting good at this boundary setting. DH is taking a nap. I hope he feels better soon. He's probably having anxiety palpitations from MIL. This is what I came here to say. As far as I know, the 2 main causes of heart palpitations is stress/anxiety and too much caffeine. That was my thought too. I used to get migraines every time I was around my in-laws and my husband thought I was faking them for a while. Turns out his parents just really stress me out. Nice work, op. Look at the shiny spine. Y'all have the patience of Job. Hope DH feels better after a nap. Costco chicken is not worth the pain of playing 20 questions, she'd have to do better than that. Some salsa and chips, beer. Great job. Keep it up. You did great. Or did your DH have a heart murmur? I only ask because my heart does weird crap like that too, especially when I'm stressed. I had a heart murmur from around 1 until about 14, and wonder if that's why or if it came back. His heart feels like it skips a beat occasionally. Stress makes it worse. Great job showing JustNoMil that you and DH are in tune with each other, connected, and will speak up if the other is feeling distressed because of her. I hope he feels better. I have something similar that happens to me and it was diagnosed as a symptom of anxiety/panic attack. I don't even realize I'm anxious until it happens. I am so proud of you. Good for you. You handled that like a boss. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.